So the Falcons no longer bowl eligible, Todd Walker, as a tough loss up in Ypsilanti for BG.
Yeah, another really self-inflicted loss. Not turnovers, which you normally would say is self-inflicted wounds, but the defense with really 100 yards of penalties, and some of them were very ill-timed. And frankly, another game like Kent State, where if you look at this game, it was very winnable, even with this being the fourth-string quarterback, Hunter Nejum. Falcons did not a lot offensively, but they did put up enough to win the game, really. If the defense could have cut out those penalties, I think Bowling Green would have won that game, but they didn't. Now they're 3-7, can't go to a bowl game, and now these last two games are in some ways meaningless. You wonder where they get motivation from, and what are the coaches going to think about who gets to play. Of course, in the transfer portal era, are guys ready to check out if they're already thinking about next year? It's not a great place to be.
Well, next year is the motivation, whether you're auditioning for a role for the Falcons next season or auditioning for a role for another team next season. So as much as we can now say 2025 is over for BG, at the same time, these are a very important month as you start to build this program, Freddie George.
Yeah, and I think that's what coaches are relegated to saying now to kids. Hey, we can't go to a bowl game or win a championship, but you're still on film, as they say. So these games that you're playing are going to show what you can do next year, whether you're here or whether you leave. So I think that is important. And of course, for Bowling Green now, who's healthy enough to play quarterback? Obviously, it was Hunter Nejum this week. I think Lucian Anderson would have played if they had needed him. As far as Drew Pine, I don't think he really could have played. In fact, Coach George told me if they had to get to him, he would have had to go get dressed because he did not dress for the game. So it's a dire situation at quarterback, but it could be a great opportunity for Hunter Nejum to maybe finish the season as the starting quarterback.
First game with the new offensive coaching staff, if you will. Very balanced between passing and rushing against Eastern. A little bit of a double-edged sword because there's only, I think, 120, both passing, 120 rushing.
Yeah, I think they maybe were too predictable with Hunter Nejum. I don't think they felt like they had enough of the playbook available to them. But I think you did see a little bit of a more aggressive look downfield. You saw some guys deployed in some different spots, most notably Jiron Johnson and Jacob Harris. The tight ends were more out wide, and they did figure in some action. Johnson got a touchdown, and Harris set up a touchdown with a one-hand grab. And Austin Dendy had a strong game running the football. Again, they just were not able to string together a lot of consistent offense, but they had their moments and put the team in a position where they could have won the game. But again, defensive mistakes via penalties were just too much to overcome.
Let's go back to Austin Dendy for a minute. Have the Falcons found their running back now?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think he's clearly the number one back. And, he had 100 yards in this game. And the one before he had 93 or 95. So he's basically averaging 100 yards a game. And he's already shown a pretty massive stiff arm. He throws that out there, people are on the ground. So I think it's clear he's their new number one back. And, the obvious thought is he going to be here next year, or will he be able to parlay this into going somewhere else? He was at Power 5 school before he came to Bowling Green. So that's another subplot for the rest of the season and into the offseason.
So for here on out, Falcons getting that full midweek action. We'll have more on their upcoming games in the weeks to come. I want to thank Todd Walker from the Falcon Radio Network for joining us. Thanks once again, Todd.
You got it, Mark.